Well, here we are right back again. This is Legacy of Leaders. I'm your host, Jamar Suber. And as you know, I talk to amazing entrepreneurs and executives who push us to go higher. And today, I'm with Damien Nixon, market leader of Whataburger. Welcome to the show, Damien.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you've been with some major brands. I'm not going to call out everybody's name,
Yes,
but
sir.
You've been in this thing a couple of decades, correct?
Yes, sir. Over 20 years. Over
20 years. Wow.
Yeah, that's a long time.
The restaurant industry, a huge industry. I mean, it made it through COVID. People changed up the model and all these things. But let's talk about the mentorship you do for young leaders in this industry.
So with the young leaders, right? You know, we all been young before, right? But having a mentor is very important, right? So a mentor is going to tell you what you need to know, not what you want to know, what you need to know. They're going to hold you accountable. So I teach accountability, you know, the young leaders accountability. And I also touch on stuff that I struggled with in the past, was like emotional intelligence. Try to think of some ways that I can help them out with emotional intelligence with offering good reads. You know, good reads like ego is the enemy. Or what I was offered, what got you here won't get you there. And when I was young, I didn't understand what that really meant, right? I thought I had all the answers. I thought I knew it all. Very, very passionate, right? And you know, some young leaders come in, when you're young, you're passionate, but you got to know how to control that passion. That's something that I'm real good with teaching young leaders with, how to control the passion, you know, because sometimes passion can help you or it can hurt you. So that's one of the things I coach young leaders on. Another thing is knowing how to adapt to any situation, right? I have been faced with adversity with running different stores for different brands. You know, I have ran stores in inner city. I have ran stores like near the beach area where the sales go up and down. You might be busy during one period, but then you might be slow during another period. So you have to know how to adapt to the needs of the unit. I have been put in situations where, you know, like say like inner city, trying to paint the picture from you.
Absolutely.
I remember starting very young. You know, I had to deal with homeless around the building. Some people mentally can't really deal with that type of situation. So that's just some of the things that I do for young leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the restaurant industry and the role that you're in, I'm sure you deal with a lot with operations and those types of things. So when it comes to operating a restaurant, what are some of the things that you need to keep in mind to keep it running effectively?
Effectively, good communication. So, you know, what I always was taught is start off with leadership and communication, right? You got to know how to communicate the message that you're really trying to get across. You know, knowing how to take care of your people, because it's people first. You know, if you listen to your people, you have your one-on-ones with your people, listen to the needs of the people, you can go real far. You know, the next thing will be making sure that you're in tune with your customer. You know, what do your customer need? What is the customer wanting, right? You know, good customer service requires fresh food, you know, the accuracy part. You know, some people say they want speed, but if your quality good, your quality gonna outweigh the speed. So my philosophy is I live by quality. Don't serve anything that you wouldn't, you know, eat in the restaurant industry. And then the other part would be, of course, you know, you gotta know how to make profit. You know, I don't want to say that we all about money or I'm all about money, but at the end of the day, it's a business. So you got to know how to make profit. And if you don't have people, product, and your equipment, you're not going to be able to make profit.
Wow. So if I'm an entrepreneur and I have a restaurant idea, I have to keep people, product, and equipment, all these things in mind even before I start. Yeah.
And we call that PPE.
PPE.
Yeah. Okay. How many people do you have staff? You know, what's your product level look like? Because you got to have product in order to sell to the guests. And then your equipment got to be working. You know, how frustrated can it be if you go to a restaurant and you try to order, just say a shake, like your daughter, because I know you told me you had a daughter. And she want to order a shake, and they set the machine down. That's very disappointing.
That is.
Right? So you got to make sure you just have all three, and you got all three, then you're going to be rocking and rolling.
Well, man, you know, we'll definitely have to continue this conversation. You know, I want to thank you for coming on to the show. But here, you heard it here, PPE, any entrepreneurs out there, if you want to learn more about Damien and his leadership style, his leadership skills as market leader at Whataburger, please log on to dailynewsnetwork.com. So long.